Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user Atypical Cloth. Am I the a-hole for messaging the husband of my husband's affair partner? I found out my husband of nearly 20 years is cheating for the second time. I know, fool me once and all that, but needless to say, my blood will not stop boiling. We are getting divorced, and I just had this hunch that the affair partner was also married. Something about my husband's comments about her didn't add up. Since he was too checked out to even bother with a burner phone, it took about 5 minutes with the phone bill and 10 minutes of Googling to find an email address for her husband. I'm not on Facebook, so probably would have been faster if I was. I sent him an email, and within 5 minutes, my husband was texting me asking what I had done, saying I destroyed a family today. All I can say is I wish someone would have told me the first time he cheated so I wouldn't have hung out with the woman and been friendly. This guy is in a similar situation as he and my husband know each other. I actually sent the email from a burner email address and didn't out my husband, in case I was wrong somehow, but it's clear to me based on my husband's comments that the affair partner named him. The affair partner swears she's been trying to end things with her husband and he won't listen. Maybe that's true, but it's also possible she's totally playing my husband and hasn't said anything to hers. The affair partner's husband wants to talk to me and I'll probably call him. So, am I the a-hole for telling my husband's affair partner about the affair? Did I destroy a family? Should I have kept my mouth shut? Should I not speak to him? My boiling blood may be clouding my judgment. No, OP, you're not the a-hole and you're most definitely not some homewrecker like your future ex-husband is trying to make you out to be. This is all on them. Your husband and his affair partner are the ones that destroyed 2 families. And all you did was just give the other husband the chance to know the truth so he can decide what he wants to do next. Look, OP, we all know that cheaters like to trickle truth and hide stuff, and of course, well, cheaters, they lie. And all you did was just cut through that. His whole reaction is just deflecting accountability. So don't even give it a second of a thought that you are in the wrong somehow here. No. So instead of wasting time and energy on that, focus on your divorce and on carrying on with your life once you get rid of the cheater. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. Hopeful Artichoke 449 says she destroyed her own family. Your garbage husband blaming you just shows how worthless he is. Writing Romance says, funny how your a-hole husband didn't give a crap about your family. The only reason he's concerned about hers is because he's not gonna keep getting laid now. He can dry hump a cactus into the sunset. Gullible Ad 8884 says, never the asshole for informing someone they are being cheated on. She ruined her family, not you. He's just mad that you got his girlfriend in trouble. You did the right thing. Impossible Balance 11 says, the golden rule basically says, do as you'd be done by. And you said you wish someone had told you back then. Therefore, you did right by the man. I agree wholeheartedly, by the way, for the same reasons. Your soon-to-be ex-husband and his affair partner destroyed their own families. If your husband tries to blame you again, refuse to accept it by either stating plainly, I don't accept that, you and she are solely to blame, or simply by laughing hysterically in his face. I would recommend the latter. Winky face. Wishing you healing, peace, and future happiness, OP, not the a-hole. And OP responds, thank you. I like the way you stated that. I don't accept that. You and she are solely to blame. I plan to use it. Livid Ideal 791 says, not the a-hole. Give him all the information possible. I've had a friend be the affair partner and I told the wife because it wasn't fair to her. Recently, my friend found out her husband of 20 years was cheating on her as well. The husband of the affair partner reached out to her. As much as it sucked, it also helped her heal a lot more because she couldn't be strung along or lied to or manipulated. And Intrepid Source says, if she was trying to end it with her husband, then you didn't destroy a family, you merely assisted her in the process of ending it with him. Truly though, not the a-hole. The cheaters ruined their relationship, not you. Telling the truth is not equal to the bad behavior, cheating. And Opie responds, "That's why I think my husband is getting played. I'll be curious to hear the other side and if she was truly trying to end it." Well, the community agrees that Opie is not the a-hole in this one and that the cheaters just put themselves in this situation because they are scummy, sucky people. So now, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. First, thanks all for reading my original post. I am still amazed how many people took the time to comment. So many people made me laugh. So many shared personal stories. It was truly cathartic. On to the update. The day after my original email to the affair partner's husband, he and I talked on the phone. He was shocked to learn about the affair. Poor guy. I could tell he was struggling as he wanted to believe all the lies she had told him and was desperate to believe they hadn't had sex like she told him they hadn't. My husband says the same, but given the fact that he's a proven liar, I don't believe it for a second. Affair partner's husband said he was worried for his kids. He explained he was embarrassed as my husband and he are part of the same circle. I said I could relate with my first experience of infidelity. He was grateful to me for reaching out and thanked me. After that conversation, my husband texted me upset that I had revealed his prior affair and that I only did it to hurt him because it is, of course, all about him. I explained that the conversation I had with this guy had nothing to do with him. When I mentioned the prior affair, I mentioned it in the context of relatable life experience. I honestly thought it wouldn't be a secret between cheaters anyway, but I guess the affair partner wasn't happy to learn about it. I know, shocker, cheaters cheat. I guess she thought she was special. But she learned differently when her husband told her many of the details about my husband's cheating, and she went straight back to my husband like a sick game of telephone. At this point, my husband was still sleeping at the house. I woke up the next day feeling like I couldn't breathe. It ended up being a full-blown panic attack, which only stopped after I started screaming at my husband, saying he needed to leave the house. He is officially not living here anymore, and I will be packing up the rest of his stuff during an upcoming weekend away that I have planned with friends. I am very sad and very angry, but I'm starting to feel like I can breathe again. Sorry to disappoint so many that wanted me to meet the man in person and sleep with him. All of those comments made me laugh. That would have made for a much more exciting update. Well, Opie, the good thing is that the truth is out there. You already know you want out, and now he gets to choose if he wants that too. Whatever issues your future ex-husband and his affair partner may have, it's a big fat whatever. If she doesn't like that he cheated before, well, that's just on her. In any case, it is irrelevant. Opie, here's wishing you the best. Take care and thanks for sharing. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user InternalSoup906. Am I the a-hole for being greedy and not giving our daughter's stuff to my pregnant sister? I'm 33 and my husband and I have 2 kids, 8 male and 7 female. We didn't plan having them back to back, but it happened. My husband got a vasectomy and we're set. When I was pregnant with our son, we were living in a rented 2-bedroom house and decorated the nursery with olive and wood tones. We kept it the same when we had our daughter and just made room for the baby. When our son was 6 and our daughter was 5, my husband got a big promotion at work that allowed us to look for and buy a 4-bedroom forever house. Since it was permanent, we thought it'd be fun to give the kids theme rooms. We asked them each what they wanted, and our son picked dinosaurs. My husband likes to joke that we have a mini Roz in our hands. So we did a wilderness theme, and my daughter picked Aurora, so we did a fairy tale theme. We went all out since it'll be their bedrooms until they're teens, and we gave the nursery furniture away since we were done having kids. We asked our families first, but none of them were planning kids at the time, so it went to friends. Fast forward to the present. My sister is 21 weeks pregnant with a baby girl, their first. She was over at our place and said she was planning to have something like my daughter's room for the nursery, but nursery stuff is expensive. I told her she should go with neutral tones since it'll be used a lot. They want a big family. She was like, nah, I want theme ones for each baby like you did with your kids. I raised my eyebrows because that's going to be expensive, but nodded because who am I to talk when I kind of did the same? We continued chatting for a while, and she grabbed my laptop and started going through the website I used and complained again. So I suggested that she put some of the reasonably priced stuff on her baby shower list. She gave a non-committal hum and then said that I can give her some stuff as well. I was confused because I thought she meant the old nursery and reminded her that we gave it away. She shook her head and told me she meant stuff from our daughter's room. I asked her what she means because she's using that room. It's not like she doesn't live in it. She waved her hand and told me it's not a big deal. We can part with a few things. I asked her what she thought we can part with, and she casually said stuff like the drapes, a lamp, the mirror, etc. I asked her sarcastically if she wanted the sheets as well, or maybe the clothes off my daughter's back. She just glared and told me I could tone down my greed and help out with this. I told her a flat-out no. It's unreasonable that she's even asking because she and her husband are well off just like us. It's not like she's struggling and I'm refusing to help. She told me that it's different because they want a big family, so they need to save more. I told her if that's the case, they can save by using the same nursery for every baby. She just glared again, called me a greedy bitch, and left. She's not replying to my texts, and my mom called to ask what had happened because she called her to complain about me without specifying anything. She was just as bewildered as me when I told her. My husband thinks I'm in the right, and I do too. I'm just confused and maybe there's something we're not seeing? Well, Opie, no, from what you explained, there's nothing you're missing. Your sister's just behaving ridiculously entitled. Like, what the hell? Just because she wants to have a big family and each baby has to have a themed nursery, other people need to pay for that, and she wants to take things from your daughter's room? Yeah, your sister is delusional. So, OP, I wouldn't even worry about it. I wouldn't chase her with phone calls or anything. If she wants to talk to you, she will. Because honestly, do you really want to try to have a conversation who can't be logical about this? No. She should come around eventually. And if she doesn't, it's not your loss. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. And now let's check out the community comments. Counterburn says, not the a-hole. My mother always acquiesced to this stuff and ruined our relationship. I'd come home from school to find her chatting with some new friend while their kids played with my toys and she'd just give them away. She never understood why I started hiding my stuff, stopped talking to her and wouldn't be friends with these kids she was giving all my things to. By high school, I treated my living space like I was in boot camp. No posters, no mementos, nothing out. I carried all my books in a duffel bag at school and hid the few toys I had under my clothes. Children need security and parents who advocate for them. Please don't give in to this horrible ask from your sister. And Opie responds, I'm so sorry you went through that, I can't imagine. Of course, I never entertained the idea, but I was thinking of buying her a couple of things she liked from our daughter's room, along with the original baby shower gift I had in mind. Now I don't even think I want to do that. KM Flushing says, laughing emoji, she's calling you greedy when she's literally trying to snatch things out of your daughter's room? Not the a-hole, and shut that crap down from her and anyone else. Anyone on her side is entitled, greedy as hell, or heard a totally different story from her. Bride 1234109 says, not the a-hole. After reading the title, I thought your sister was going to ask for the baby items that your daughter had grown out of. However, after reading your post, your sister is entitled as F. To expect to be given things from a child's room that they're currently using is crazy. What happens to the kid next? Will she take your son's room too? Or what happens when your daughter gets a new room decoration as a teen? Will she try to rob your teen daughter's room too? Not the a-hole. She can get her own stuff. And Opie responds, my husband and I asked both of our families if they wanted us to save our kids' baby clothes for their future kids. They said no, my sister included. Honestly, this is all weird, but thank you for confirming I'm not being unreasonable. And Moon Whisper says, not the a-hole, but your sister should be tested for prenatal psychosis. It is a thing. because her thought process is not the thought process of a normal, rational person. If untreated, it will most likely get worse. It does sound like the early symptoms of such a condition, kind of like early symptoms of a brain tumor is change in thoughts or paranoia. Prenatal psychosis can start with irrational, off-the-wall logic that is completely logical to the person saying it, also known as delusions. If nothing else, it should be something that is brought to attention of brother-in-law and your parents to watch for. And Opie responds, to be honest, I don't see a scenario where I bring up that concern that doesn't end with not launching a miniature World War III in our extended family, but I will look it up some more and maybe bring it up with my mom first. Opie's edit. Thank you guys for all your opinions and advice. First, to clear up, our parents never encouraged this sort of behavior with her. Growing up, we were like any other siblings. I'm older than her by 3 years. Sometimes she didn't get to share a toy, so our parents made her. Sometimes I didn't want to share a lip gloss, so our parents made me, etc. So after talking about it with my husband and my mom, I'm going to give my sister a couple of days to cool off before I try to reach out to her again and hopefully have a conversation. You may find this naive, but all three of us agree that this isn't like her. Maybe she and her husband are going through a rough financial patch, or maybe he pulled the plug on multiple themed nurseries. Whatever it is, I'm not ready to go scorched earth and cut my sister off after one bizarre entitled demand. She's still my sister, the one I grew up with, the one that held me down when I was going through stuff and kept me grounded. The one who let me nearly break her hand from squeezing too hard when I was in labor until my husband got there. All of that doesn't just go away. The community agrees that OP is not the a-hole and that there's something going on with the sister. So now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. Wow, I haven't checked this in 9 months, but now that everything's settled down, here's an update. My sister gave birth a few months back to an adorable baby girl, and they're both healthy as can be and thriving. Thankfully, she wasn't having prenatal psychosis like some people were suggesting, but her and her husband were having financial problems my mom and I weren't aware of. Her mother-in-law had been having a lot of health issues and her bills were racking up, so my sister and her husband had stepped in and were supporting her, which they could easily afford to do, but they had to cut back a bit on their lifestyle. I didn't reach out for a while after my unanswered calls and texts, but mom kept being on her case and eventually she reached out and apologized and then asked to come over. She apologized again in person and told me what's been going on with her husband and mother-in-law and his brothers and their lack of chipping in towards their mother's care, etc. Her outburst was out of her frustration with everything going on, and she knows that it wasn't fair to aim it on me, but she was stressing because her husband had been also putting off nursery talk and it's their first baby and she wanted the best of the best for her. Unfortunately, it's been thing after thing for her. A month after her and her husband welcomed their little girl, her mother-in-law passed away, and a month after that, our old mom had a health scare, but she's thankfully okay now, although it brought my sister and I closer. So my sister and I are okay. My daughter's stuff is firmly hers, and will always be unless she decides she's outgrown it and decides to give it away to whoever she wants. Sorry if this is all over the place, I'm just typing this out as it comes to mind, since it's been months. Well, OP, I guess it's good news. She just burst out of frustration. She understands what she did was wrong and that she shouldn't have aimed it at you. She apologized and now you're aware of the whole problem. So in general, I think this is a great update. So on that note, here's wishing you the best, OP. Thanks for sharing and take care. And now let's finish this video with a quick mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance and it's by user Armani MR. Just send me the invoice. So I sent it 14 times. A client kept forgetting to pay, so they'd asked me to resend the invoice every week. After the 5th time, I set a reminder to email it daily until they paid. They finally called yelling, "Why are you spamming me?" I said, "Just following your instructions." Update. So a lot of you are asking what happened next. After I sent the invoice 14 times, the client finally called me, voice absolutely dripping with indignation, and said, "Why are you spamming me?" I calmly replied, "Oh, I thought you needed it recent, just making sure you've got it this time." There was a pause, the kind of pause where you can hear someone's soul leaving their body for a second. Then mumbled something about getting the check sorted and hung up. The best part? They paid that same day. All 14 invoices were marked as red in my email tracker within an hour. Moral of the story, sometimes the squeaky wheel doesn't just get the grease, it gets paid. Nicely done, OP. They wanted the invoice, they got it every single day. Good job and thanks for sharing. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.